about, how does our child learn? How do they play? How do we see them play? Are they a kinetic sensory learner? Do they love to get dirty? And would they love to make some mud pies? Or maybe they're more of a reader. What are some books that engage with creation that we could explore? Or maybe they're more of a listener. What would happen if we just went and sat and listened? We could pull out our cardboard tube binoculars to help us focus and look for where we see God in his creation out in the world around us. A book that I love for digging into more of understanding different ways to play and engage with spirituality is Sacred Pathways for Kids by Christy Thomas. So you will not want to miss her session. She is fantastic. I love her. She's definitely one of my mom mentors. So definitely check that book out, Sacred Pathways for Kids by Christy Thomas. And it breaks down different faith traditions, different faith disciplines, and what our children might be drawn to and how we can disciple them with those experiences. Maybe they're more sensory based and would enjoy making mud pies or going and playing in a river in mud puddles. Maybe they are more intellectual and like to read those books. Maybe they are more contemplative and thinking and asking questions is a way that they like to engage and play. All of those are play. All of those are different forms of play and ways that we can engage our child with this story. And then finally, we engage. We engage with our child on their level. We don't seek to make them jump up and be engaged in a way that they feels uncomfortable for them. Instead, we sit with them on their level. And oftentimes it is just setting the invitation. Maybe it is going outside and going for a nature walk. And it can be saying, wow, I see that beautiful tree. God made that. Isn't that amazing? Or maybe they find a bug. I hate when my kids find bugs and frogs and all the nasty things. But if we can sit with that uncomfortableness and say, wow, God made that. We are planting seeds of God and his wisdom into our children's lives and offering them the invitation to wonder and ponder over God and his goodness and his greatness in the world around us. Some final thoughts I want to leave us with as we are pondering play-based learning and how we engage that in discipleship. Some things to keep in mind is focus on intention, not perfection. That we are planting seeds, and that's gonna look different in different seasons. Discipling my 18-month-old is a lot different than discipling my 6-month-old. I'll say that we had so much fun when she was 18 months. And now with my now 18-month-old, we are still having fun. But it looks very different. My 18-month-old does not ask questions. They do not sass me when I misspeak or say weird things or feel a little uncomfortable talking about spiritual things. My 6-year-old does. But because we started bringing Jesus into the conversation when she was 18 months, now it is a natural thing to talk about when she is 6. When she is talking about struggles with friends at school or a friend that she maybe saw bullied at school, we can talk about Jesus. It's not a weird thing. And so this play and bringing Christ into the conversation through the little years sets us up to be able to talk about that when they get older and life gets a little more complicated and it's not just play. I also want to encourage us that we're wanting to form positive associations. So it's okay if your kid is not super into what you're offering the first time around, or if you try something and it flops. We aren't looking to hammer this into our kids and say, you have to know this. And we are trying to build positive associations with God and with faith and with spirituality for our children. We want them to see that God cares about them and that they have a place at the table to talk about these things, because that is what God said. That's what Jesus said. Let the little children come to me, because the kingdom is made of them. And one last thought is this is simply laying a foundation. This is not where our discipleship ends. We don't need to give them all the details. It is okay to start simple. With an 18-month-old, I am going to say, wow, God made you. God made your hands. God made your feet. When I talk with my 6-year-old, we are going to be talking about God's shalom and how God made everything to work together for good. That it was not an accident, that he spoke and everything came to be, that he is all powerful. Those are the things I can talk about with my 6-year-old. Not so much my 18-month-old, but discipleship is still important on both ends. And as they continue to grow, we continue building on that foundation so that when they are 10, 12, 18, asking harder questions, we can be open to that, and it is not a foreign conversation for us to be having with them, that we are comfortable with that conversation because we have started with play in these younger years.